Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. Also, happy first day of fall. Yes, the autumnal equinox was today, and I'm going to be giving you guys a sneak peek at what the weather will be like this fall across the country. So, as a summary, after a relatively hot summer, autumn will unfortunately be mild for many areas this upcoming fall. Significantly warmer temperatures will actually be likely in the Midwest, the Plains, and the West Coast. Definitely in places that don't need it right now, especially with the drought they've been experiencing. While temperatures across the remainder of the country, really the majority, are not expected to be any colder than average. Sure, there may be some nights where we may get dip below average, but for the most part, it'd really be it would average out around average or above average. But the basis of the extended 3-month outlook from the Climate Prediction Center, most of the country will actually be seeing above average temperatures during the months of September through November. And in addition to that, a growing probability of a La Nina has also been predicted by the Climate Prediction Center, which is really something we've been discussing for the last month or so now, which should actually help drought-hit regions in the west, as it'll bring more moist air, but not so much the tropical systems in the Atlantic. It really does feel that tropical pattern and gives us those ingredients that we really need, which include warmer waters and lower wind shear. What I really just want to talk about here is when you think of fall, it's often associated with leaves turning into very vibrant shades of red, orange, and yellow. But due to the drought and lack of rain that has been observed this year, many areas actually, these colors may look a little different this year, especially in the west particularly. It's been suffering from severe droughts, resulting in trees being damaged as well as just any type of vegetation. In this absence of rain, these trees will actually cease production. And also, the future does not look much better for this upcoming fall, as the precipitation forecast calls for drier than average weather from the high plains all the way down to the southwest. It really covers those areas that are undergoing this drought. This will actually likely continue to worsen the drought conditions found across the northern plains. However, there are actually smaller pockets of wetter than normal weather expected in coastal Washington and Oregon. But the drought conditions are actually expected to continue. But our next step is to actually take a look at the 90-day forecast based on the 3-model forecast. You're currently observing neutral temperatures in the Pacific Ocean, so a La Nina or El Nino does actually not exist at the moment. However, as I mentioned earlier, a La Nina is actually predicted to develop during this fall. A La Nina is most noticeable when the water temperatures within the equatorial Pacific Ocean are cooler than average. But we also have another topic to discuss that will only add on to this bad news that I'm conveying to you. Of course, we have to discuss the fire situation and the fact that fire season is actually approaching. Although the fall may be viewed as a colder season for many, some areas such as the western coast of the United States view it actually as peak of fire season. Keep in mind that this year's fire season has already been very active. Sadly, millions of acres of land were just completely scorched by these fires in Northwest and California, even some portions of Canada as well. That was just earlier this year. There's also the potential for major fires to spread into Southern California, particularly from October through November when the Santa Ana winds are expected to be strongest. Not only this, monsoons, tropical patterns, and other climatological factors influence these various different wet and dry patterns differently throughout the country, making the peak fire season differ from one place to another. But as shown in the new climate outlook, hot and dry weather will be here to stay for much of the season. Although the main area could actually shift just to the southwest, prolonging that strong fire season that has really been undergoing this strong drought. I'll actually go ahead and show you guys the current drought monitor right now. See that area that I just mentioned does not need any more of this dry weather. But fire danger is actually expected to remain above average through September for much of the northwest, northern Rockies, and the northern portions of the Great Basin. While the monsoon season actually delivered a welcome respite from the drought conditions of southwest deserts during the height of summer, the autumn outlook could actually still be bleak, as I just mentioned, as the drought is actually expected to return at full force across the region, so really the southwest. So we're going to get a brunt of this drought and drier weather. And of course, we also have the northern plains, but the drought is not severe as the southwest, where these wildfires are still breaking out. But anyway, definitely will be a big event to look out for this upcoming fall. And even right now, we still have current fires, which are only likely to strengthen throughout this month as the drought continues. So if we move back to the temperatures in a different selected region of the U.S. here, which would be the deep south and upper Midwest, this area here, there's actually no tendency in this region to experience above average or below average temperatures. It's really just going to be fluctuating here. For the most part, it'll be a little cooler from what they've kind of been acclimated to this past couple of years, where they've had above average temperatures. but in reality it'd really just be neutral. So when both above and below average temperatures are equally likely in most of the valley, including some parts of Arkansas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. But now that we were talking about the Gulf states, we'll actually circle back to the La Nina phenomenon that I just mentioned. That can actually be expected to unleash yet another above average storm season or hurricane season, which is really what we've been observing for the past couple of years, especially last year. I think I talked about it in one of my earlier videos, along with the other high impact weather events across the U.S. But due to the pattern, it's actually limiting a factor called vertical shear mechanism. Storms may actually develop through the remainder of the season. But not only this, but they also have a good chance of storms in this area, even if we even up into the Ohio Valley as well. We may get a couple of systems, cold fronts moving through. But with less of disrupting winds in place, tropical cyclones and hurricanes can actually form more easily versus from when an El Nino occurs. But now as we actually progress northwards towards our area, maybe actually just a little more north past the Mid-Atlantic into the New England area, see that there are actually forecasted above average temperatures for New England and the Mid-Atlantic and across the Midwest for large parts of this year. But as a result of this storm's warm weather, autumn foliage may actually arrive a little later than usual. You'll see as soon as I get into this later in the video that these above average temperatures should not last too long, unlike the Southwest. There's the greatest chance of experiencing early cold in late October or November, so a little later than usual, but there should be a very quick transition in temperatures for those months. Although northern New England and upstate New York could actually experience this kind of weather, even frost by mid-October, it wouldn't really surprise me. With this pattern being flipped in late October, we could actually expect some early season snow as well to be dusted on the Great Lakes region, upstate New York. But the next region I'd like to move to would be the Rockies. If we actually move way west here, just past the northern plains. The Rockies are almost isolated here in their own little bubble, as you can see. Most of the northern plains and the Rockies, and when I say northern plains, I mean western northern plains and portions of Montana, they'll actually continue to see continue into autumn before big changes will arrive. In northern Canada, we've been seeing a lot of cold air build up, and it really almost create like a passage to the Rockies. And I believe the setup we have heading here into October will be very favorable of rain and snow into the northern Rockies. This will actually allow us. This will actually introduce us to some relief in late fall. The weather may actually change from summer to an early glimpse of winter during October, as this cold air actually really just pours into the Midwest here, as we're going to see over the next couple months, all the way from the Northeast as well. So September, October, we may see a lot more heat waves and wildfires, but it may actually be followed by some snow, early season snow during November. So if we really look at this collectively here, we could actually see that there'll be like a sudden switch or a sudden flip in this fall pattern. So really in the southwestern region, even portions of Texas, we're going to have a lot of drier weather, very hot weather, especially in Southern California. So we're going to get that, we're going to see this really peak wildfire season, and the ingredients are all formulated here to make it a very catastrophic wildfire season, considering we have very high temperatures, very dry conditions, and we've been having an ongoing drought here for the past month or so. So this is what I'm going to add on to it over here for the next couple months here in fall. In contrast, we're going to see a lot of rain in the Pacific Northwest, as well as portions of the upper Midwest, and a very active tropical season as well due to the La Nina. So I guess that'll be our close to this fall outlook. Basically, expecting more tropical activity, more wildfires, prolonged drought, followed by cooler weather and early snow. It's a very complex setup when you look at it, is what we have for this fall. Definitely something to tune into. Anyway, guys, if you did enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like. I'll continue to do these weather updates as much as I can. And I'll see you in the next one.